everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone is doing well. I apologize for the short notice, but I was sitting here working on some genealogy stuff, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go live because I had seen that there was a shooting at a church, and come to find out, the past 24 hours, there have been several shootings where people have lost their lives over seemingly silly things. So today there was a shooting at a church in Kentucky. A man was eluding a state trooper after carjacking a car, and for whatever reason, he got out and opened fire on the church parishioners. 2 women sadly lost their lives. 2 men were injured. The shooter is deceased, and no one will probably know why unless he left something behind. There was also a shooting at a Pasadena restaurant, and there was a shooting at a class reunion, which when I saw that, I'm like, what? Seems like we've said, this shootings can happen anywhere. They can happen anywhere. So it's going to be a short live. I only have a few stories to talk about. I also have an article about Camp Mystic, which, for those of you who may not know, several campers and counselors were killed in a catastrophic flood that occurred on July 4th. And I found the article interesting because it had to do with the buildings in the flood zone. So just kind of a interest article, I guess. And then the last thing I have for us is a short video about pets who have been reunited with their owners after the flood. So it should be a quick but good live. So we're gonna get started. You add this to the stage. Hey Pookie, thanks for being here. I think I forgot to send you the link to let you know I was even going live, because it was like 20 minutes ago. I was like, I think I'm gonna go live. So I did. So first I have the press conference from law enforcement. It was about an hour ago that they had this presser. So I will mute during said presser, and then we'll talk about some things.
Good evening. I'm Sergeant Badge Tower with the Lexington Police Department Public Information Office. We're here today to talk about the shootings that occurred earlier today on Terminal Drive and also Old Richmond Road. Chief Lawrence Weathers will provide an update on the investigation. With this being an ongoing investigation, we're limited to the information that we can release and will not be able to take any questions today. We'll continue to provide updates on our social media and also through media releases to our media partners. Chief is joined by representatives in our public safety partnerships today from the Kentucky State Police, the Fayette County Coroner's Office, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, ATF, Lexington Fire Department, the Mayor's Office, One Lexington, and representatives from the Bluegrass Airport. Chief Lawrence Weathers.
Thank all of you for being here. And like Sergeant Towery said, it's ongoing investigation, so there's not really a whole lot of questions I'll be able to answer, but I will give you the statement that I have here. There's days like today that are extremely difficult, and before I begin, I would like to extend my condolences to the victims, their families, and everyone impacted by today's violence. I would also like to wish a quick recovery to the Kentucky State Trooper who was shot. On July 13, 2025, around 11:36 a.m., Lexington police officers were dispatched for a shooting involving a Kentucky State Trooper on Terminal Drive. The trooper had pulled over a vehicle on Terminal Drive after receiving a license plate reader alert in the area of Versailles Road. The trooper was shot and the suspect fled. While that shooting occurred on Terminal Drive, it was unrelated to the Bluegrass Airport and did not occur inside the airport terminal. The trooper is in stable condition and receiving medical treatment. A short time later, the suspect carjacked a vehicle in the 3700 block of Bellawood Drive before fleeing the area. No injuries were reported during that carjacking. With the assistance of the department's Air Support Unit and Real-Time Intelligence Center, officers were able to track the vehicle to the Richmond Road Baptist Church in the 5800 block of Old Richmond Road. The suspect fired his weapon at individuals on church property. Preliminary information indicates that the suspect may have had a connection to the individuals at the church. 4 individuals were shot on church property. 2 female victims were pronounced deceased at the scene. The other 2 victims, both male, were transported to a local hospital. 1 victim was reported to have sustained critical injuries, and the other was reported in stable condition. The suspect was shot by responding law enforcement and was pronounced deceased at the scene. The suspect's information will be released after their family is notified. 3 Lexington police officers fired their service weapons in accordance with the Lexington Police Department's policies. The officers had their issued body-worn cameras activated. The incident is being investigated by the Kentucky State Police Critical Incidents Response Team, and the department's Public Integrity Unit will conduct an internal review of the incident. As per policy, the officers will be placed on administrative assignment pending the outcome of the investigation. I want to thank all the officers and employees of the Lexington Police Department who have been working on this investigation. There were also community members who stopped today to assist the Kentucky State Police Trooper, and I want to thank them for their courage and support to help. We also want to thank all of our partners who have been assisting in the investigation, including Kentucky State Police, Fayette County Coroner's Office, Fayette County Sheriff's Office, Fayette County Public Schools Police Department, the ATF, the FBI, Department of Emergency Management, and our partners at the Lexington Fire Department. Our E911 personnel, and the mayor's office with all of our other partners. Something like this has a huge impact on our community. I know when people hear about stuff like this, they maybe need some kind of understanding, and I think the city is going to stand ready with One Lexington to help provide assistance to those who are struggling with it. Sometimes things happen. We just don't have a reason why. But we're going to be here for the people of Lexington. All of these people up here didn't hesitate to come out, didn't hesitate to call and check on the family members, and didn't hesitate to come out and provide support and their service. So I appreciate all of that, and thank you for all of that. With that being said, I'm going to ask Coroner Gary again to step up.
Thank you, Chief. So my office was called at 12:56. We responded to 5899 Old Richmond Road, which was the Richmond Road Baptist Church. This, like the chief said, this is an ongoing active investigation. There are literally a few hundred people that are working this crime scene, as well as myself and deputies. This church was a small church, and the majority of the individuals that attend the church there are related biologically some way or another. If not, they've been friends for many, many years. So it's a very tight-knit group of people at the Richmond Baptist Church. Because the family was there, and our Lexington police, as well as the KSP, conducted interviews about what happened in this investigation, I was able to notify family of 2 deaths. And I can report that Beverly Gum, she is a 72-year-old female member of the church. She sustained gunshot wounds that caused her death. And Christina Combs is a 32-year-old lady who also received gunshot wounds, which caused her death. We have identified the shooter, and the shooter, as the chief said, was shot by Lexington police, and we have not notified the shooter's family. Typically in a case like this, we will notify the family as soon as we can, and once that notification has been made, then we will identify the shooter to the media. Thank you.
As I said, there's not a whole lot of questions I'll be able to answer. I will take a couple, and if I can't answer them, I will. If I can't, I'll just let you know, but only a couple if anybody has any questions.
What can you tell us about the shooter? Did he have a criminal record?
At this time, I'm not at liberty to discuss that. Those details will probably be released later, but at this time, I can't discuss it.
It appeared on scene that after the shooting had happened, someone else was arrested. Can you confirm that? And if so, why was that the case?
I don't have any information on anybody being arrested.
Chief Weathers, could you please recount what you said that took place on Terminal Drive with the state trooper and the individual? Did the state trooper pull over the suspect because of a hit for a license plate reader?
That is my understanding. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Do we know if any of the shooting victims were related, possibly a spouse?
I'm not going to discuss that right now.
Do we know whether or not the shootings at the church happened inside or outside the church?
That's part of the investigation, and I think they're still looking into that.
And then as far as at the airport, I know that you said that it didn't happen technically inside the airport or by like right there, but do we know how that affected flights and cancellations if that happened?
I wasn't aware that it affected any flights. So like I said before, there were some people en route to the airport, and they got out and assisted the trooper. So I don't know if they suffered any delays or not, but if they did, I just want to say again, I appreciate them for getting out and doing what they did.
With this being an ongoing investigation, we won't be able to take any more questions. We're going to follow up with everything that Chief just said with more in the press release, so that should be coming out momentarily.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. Give me 1 second. I was just writing something down. Okay. Taking some notes. So just to kind of summarize, 2 people were shot. Well, 2 women were shot and killed at a Kentucky church after a suspect who shot and wounded a state trooper fled there. The 2 people who were killed were identified as Beverly Gum, 72, and Christina Combs, 32. The suspect was also killed by responding officers. The shooter has not been identified pending notification of next of kin. 2 men were injured. One was critical, the other stable. And law enforcement believes that the shooter may have had a connection to someone at the church, but we will find out. So I do have an article from the New York Times that I wanted to just kind of go through as well, because it gives a little more detail to, excuse me, what happened. So 2 dead and state troopers wounded in Kentucky shootings, officials say. The episodes, which left the shooter dead, started with a traffic stop near an airport and ended at a church in Lexington, Kentucky, where 4 people were shot. I know, Pookie. And they were just there. You know, just at the church, probably, I don't know, doing whatever. 2 women were killed and 3 other people, including a state trooper, were wounded after a pair of shootings that ended at a church in Kentucky on Sunday. Chief Lawrence Weathers of the Lexington PD said preliminary information showed that the shooter may have had an unspecified connection to people at the church, the Richmond Road Baptist Church in Lexington, Kentucky. Days like today are extremely difficult. Sometimes things happen, you just don't have a reason why. Officials said 2 women, one 72 and the other 32, were fatally shot on the church grounds. 2 men were also shot, one of them in critical condition, the other in stable condition. The shooter was fatally shot by officers of the Lexington PD at the church. 3 officers opened fire, adding that the shooter was pronounced dead at the scene. Lexington police were dispatched to a report of a shooting at 11:36 a.m. involving a Kentucky state trooper. The trooper was shot after pulling over a vehicle on Terminal Drive near the Bluegrass Airport after receiving an unspecified alert on a license plate reader. The driver fled Terminal Drive, carjacked another vehicle, and then fled the area. Oh. So here's the airport where the trooper was shot, and then here's where the church is. So just like the other side of Lexington. Officers were able to track the stolen vehicle to the Richmond Road Baptist Church on Old Richmond Road, about 16 miles away from Terminal Drive. The shooter opened fire on people on the church property. The first shooting at Terminal Road was unrelated to the Bluegrass Airport and did not happen inside its terminal. No injuries were reported during the carjacking. Gary W. Ginn, coroner of Fayette County, described the church as a small and tight-knit community. The majority of the individuals that attend the church there are related biologically some way or another. So I feel like the New York Times just verbatim used the press conference as this article. If not, they've been friends for many, many years. Efforts to reach a representative of the church on Sunday were unsuccessful. Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky said on social media he was heartbroken and praying for the victims' families. Kentucky, let's stand strong together and support our Lexington neighbors during this difficult time. Casey Darling, general manager of Boondogs Bar and Restaurant, which is near the church, said there was a heavy police presence in the area on Sunday afternoon. One employee had told me that they heard some shooting when it was all happening, said Mr. Darling, who described the area as rural with a lot of farmland. Oh, and that was it. Yes, hey lurkers. And welcome to anyone who is in the bushes listening. I do appreciate you being here, especially on short notice. All right, so the next, that's all that is available with the church shooting that occurred today. There was a shooting at a Pasadena restaurant. I believe it was yesterday. Let me just double check. And in that, 1 person was killed, 1 injured. Yes, Saturday. I'm sorry, Friday night. Friday night it occurred. Okay. Alrighty, so let me share this. So this was Friday.
We want to take you back to that breaking news story where we do understand there's a lot of police present outside of Bubba's 33 in the Pasadena area. I was also monitoring Houston TransStar cameras showing a lot of closures and slowdown on the feeder road off of the highway there. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle just got to the scene. I know, Sherman, we're waiting to hear from police, but what can you tell us?
Yeah, so here is what we have so far from Pasadena PD. According to them, one person's dead, another person's injured, and this happened inside of this Bubba's 33 on the 3000 block of Beltway 8. Here's what I know so far, and this is from their latest release.
So I'm guessing this was probably some type of disagreement or beef between two people. It doesn't appear that it was, the person just opened fire, but I don't know.
On social media, one victim was shot, later determined to have died from his wounds. Second victim, an employee of the restaurant, they sustained a non-life-threatening injury from a stray bullet. They were sent to a hospital for treatment. Now, after the shooting, the citizens inside the restaurant, according to police, attempted to get the suspect into, I guess, their own type of custody to subdue him, but they were unable to detain him. He got into a car, fled the scene. It appears the initial victim and suspect knew each other, and there is believed to be no immediate threat to the public at this time. When we got here, we walked over to a group of people who's still over here, and it turns out they have a family member who works in the restaurant. And looks like we've been, in the last 15 minutes, we've been seeing people slowly walk out of the restaurant. So again,
can you imagine it's a Friday night, you go out to eat, and all of a sudden you hear shooting and you need to be escorted out of the building.
And there's no threat to the public at this time, but according to Pasadena PD, one person's dead, another person's injured. It's all started with an altercation inside of the restaurant. So as soon as we get more information, we'll let you know where.
I mean, at least they took it outside, because who knows what have happened if they, kept arguing inside the restaurant with all of those innocent bystanders.
Expected to hear more from the police department within the next few minutes. Rashi?
Well, Sherman, as you know, Bubba's 33, a pretty popular restaurant, and on Friday night, I'm sure it's packed. So is the parking lot just packed? I'm sure people are just inside, not told to go out yet.
That is such a good name, too. Bubba's 33.
Well, the parking lot is packed, but I don't believe it's because of the people who are inside. I believe it's flooded with police officers. There's a lot of units. There's a lot of us here. And there's a lot of people who may have known some people inside of the restaurant. I'm not sure if the amount of cars that are out here are because of the people who were told to stay inside. I think that it's just a matter of a really active scene along Beltway 8. It's definitely a large police presence. If you see this, if you come in toward this area, expect a slowdown for sure.
And I was going to ask you about that because I was monitoring Houston TransStar, and you could see that the feeder road, it seems to be blocked off since this is off of Beltway 8.
Yeah, we actually came from the opposite direction. So we didn't get into that traffic congestion at all. Raymond, did you have to deal with some congestion on your way in? Came straight through. So it looks like you'll probably still be able to get in. It's just going to take a little time.
All right, Sherman DeSalle reporting live for us there. Bubba's 33, and we are waiting to hear more information from the Pasadena police. Thank you.
And there was an update to this story. And this was from today, about an hour ago. Pasadena restaurant Bubba's 33 to reopen after shooting left one dead and injured employee. A Pasadena restaurant is closed this weekend after a shooting on Friday night left one person dead and an employee injured. The restaurant, Bubba's 33 at 3221 Beltway 8 Highway, northbound, said it will be open on Monday and announced that the injured employee was released from the hospital and is doing well. Well, that's good to hear. Pasadena police identified the suspect as 48-year-old Kenneth Leon Scott Jr. on Saturday and apprehended him in Fayette County. Authorities say Scott Jr. was taken to the Fayette County Jail, where he is being held for transport to the Harris County Joint Processing Center. The motive behind the shooting remains unclear. So at least they have gotten the suspect, and he is where he allegedly should be. Yeah, craziness. All right, so the next is another shooting that happened at a class reunion. It's only about a minute long, but apparently they had more than one class, so it must have been kind of, I know as people get older, at least my parents, when they would go to their class reunions, they would have several years at the same reunion. So it wasn't just like, say, for me, class of 96, it may be class of 90 to 2000 or something. Because, I mean, I don't know how many people go to the reunions. It's actually going to be 40 years. No, not 40 years. 30 years. Next year it'll be 30 years since I graduated high school, which is wild. So this was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wow, 29 classes. Oh, gee. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sinner? Because it's StreamYard isn't telling me that. Oh, it's me. Never mind. It's me. I forgot to hit share this tab instead. You've been looking at the article this whole time. I need to get better at that. Jeez. Okay, I will start over. Sorry about that, y'all. I've been doing that a lot lately. I need to like put a sign on my computer that says, "Have you shared the tab you should be sharing?" to remind me.
Chattanooga police responded to a shots fired call around 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon at the Tyner Community Center. 4 people were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The shooting happened during an event hosted by Tyner Academy as part of their alumni weekend. Graduates from 29 classes attended and could be seen mingling in the tents. Witnesses say everyone was having a good time until they heard the gunshots echo across the field.
And all of a sudden, the shots just started going everywhere, and little kids and babies and everything was on the ground. It was bad. It was real bad.
Jeffrey Herman says he knew exactly what was happening the moment it happened.
Oh yeah. It was gunshots.
His first reaction, along with the hundreds in attendance,
to get on the ground, take cover.
Herman says he and his friends walked away injury-free, but amid the panic and chaos, some people were injured while trying to run from the scene. Some took to social media to share what they experienced. One user posted, "Thank you, Lord, for shielding my daughters and granddaughter today as they had to run, duck, crawl, and trample, dodging bullets. 2 of my babies had minor injuries, mostly anxiety, cuts, and bruises. Herman graduated in 1990, and the shooting was a shocking realization.
Makes me feel real bad, and it's sad that the little kids got to come up and see this type of stuff. For the younger generation, the little kids that's coming up watching, it's a bad example.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC.
All right, Tom Yamas. And I wanted to see if there was, and it was at I just saw this headline said it was at a community center. Like, but they didn't say anything about, let's see if there's any updates. Okay, no arrests announced. Here we go, 9 hours ago. So at least 4 people were injured. Come on, these ads. At least 4 people were injured in a shooting at an alumni event in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Saturday. A Chattanooga police spokesperson confirmed that all 4 people were taken to the hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Police did not provide information about a suspect or whether anyone has been arrested. The shooting occurred at the Tyner Recreation Complex, where it appears a reunion was being held for alumni of Tyner High School. The school, now named Tyner Middle High Academy, was reopened this year after the former campus was torn down to make way for a new facility. The Tyner Alumni Association Facebook account boasted this month that 38 graduating classes were participating in this year's alumni weekend. It's interesting because the news clip said 29. Either way, it's a lot. The Alumni Association did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment Sunday. Jeff Herman, who witnessed the shooting, told NBC affiliate WRCB that the scene was, quote, real bad. Everybody was just having a good time. Then all of a sudden, shots just started going everywhere. Little kids and babies and everything were on the ground. That's awful. Like, someone just starts shooting for no reason. I know, Glo, what the heck is going on is for sure. And then I did see there was in London, a small plane had crashed. I saw that this morning. I've really just been watching, updates on the Texas floods, which they got more rain today, but a different part of Texas had flooding. It's just, seems like they can't catch a break. So they had to, for several hours, they had to halt the recovery efforts because of the rain. And then I've also been watching organizing videos, which I got some pretty good ideas today from those, but that's a different story. Maybe that could be alive, just watching organizing videos. I don't know if anybody would be interested, but I'm on a kick lately. So this next article, I was just looking for like news this morning, and this one came up, and I was like, I wonder what this is about. So the title from BBC, Texas camp buildings were removed from map showing flood risks, U.S. media reports. So as we know, and let me see if I can find, actually, I think I shared it with Pookie. Give me 1 second. I had shared a screenshot of the map. There it is. Open in browser. Okay, so this is, I had seen this, I actually think I saw this on Facebook because a woman had posted that there's a lot of misinformation going on about how far the cabins were from the river and that, whatever. But so here it says Camp Mystic cabins in an extreme flood zone. So when you see, so here are these 4 cabins, and then this is where all the flooding was, right here. And then this is the Cypress Creek, which is a higher elevation. And I had also read, because a lot of people are like, why were the little kids down there? Why didn't they put them on higher ground, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, the nurse's office, the dining hall, like the recreation place was also close. So they were kind of nearby all the, like the administration buildings. But I just feel like that's a big area. I mean, I don't know. I hope things change, but so then I saw this article, so I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So it says U.S. regulators reportedly granted appeals to remove many Camp Mystic buildings from official flooding risk maps years before 27 children died in severe floods. Citing official records, the New York Times and Associated Press said maps by the Federal Emergency Management, FEMA, in 2011 had initially considered the popular summer camp to be at high risk of flooding. I would agree with that. So that was 14 years ago. But they say that Camp Mystic, located in a low-lying area by the Guadalupe River, then successfully challenged those designations. The BBC has contacted FEMA and Camp Mystic, neither of which have commented publicly on the issue. So here they wanted to be, official or U.S. regulators wanted to classify them as being in a flood zone, and they successfully challenged those designations. FEMA describes flood maps as, quote, a tool that communities use to know which areas have the highest risk of flooding, end quote. Syracuse University Associate Professor Sarah Prowl, who has studied the FEMA flood maps, said she found it perplexing that the Riverside camp had been granted exemptions from the map. I think it's extremely troubling that it's a camp for children. You'd think you want to be extra cautious, that you'd go beyond the minimum of what's required for flood protection. FEMA's official flood maps show that some of Camp Mystic's cabins were within a floodway, a particularly hazardous area where dangerous floodwaters would be expected to flow. It said that other cabins were within a broader zone that would also be expected to flood once every 100 years. Those designations require the camp to have flood insurance and tighter regulations on any construction projects. So it came down to money. Flood insurance is expensive. The newspaper added that the FEMA maps had not been modified to incorporate Camp Mystic's written appeals. The popular camp lost at least 27 young girls when floodwaters ripped through the premises before dawn on July 4th. Across Texas, at least 129 people have been killed and scores are still missing. And I did look that up earlier. There are still 170 missing, 161 of those in Kerr County. So 170 people are still missing, which is awful. On Friday, President Donald Trump visited the flood-hit areas, pledging that the government would help those who lost their houses and properties to rebuild. I've never seen anything like it. Trump also dismissed a question from a reporter about what more could have been done to warn residents, saying, only an evil person would ask a question like that. And I did clip that because I thought that was just so rude. In the wake of the deadly tragedy, questions have been raised about whether adequate warnings were provided and why camps weren't evacuated ahead of the deluge. Experts have said a number of factors led to the deadly impact of the flash flood, including the pre-dawn timing and the location of some buildings, which makes sense. And I wanted to see if there was any more about the reporter that Trump called evil, because I was curious about if there was anything more. Let's see. Let me go to news. Sort by date. All right. It doesn't look like there's anything. Let's see. MSN 6 hours ago. Oh, it's a video. I don't want a video. I want an article. Let's see. Okay, so the question was, it was tensions rose when CBS News Texas reporter Marissa Armis asked Trump about families who believe delayed flood warnings, this just jumped, contributed to the loss of life. Quote, several families we've heard from are obviously upset because they say that those warnings, those alerts didn't go out in time, and they also say that people could have been saved. What do you say to those families? She asked. Trump initially reiterated his praise for first responders, calling their efforts incredible under the circumstances. He shared, well, I think everyone did an incredible job under the circumstances. This was, I guess Kristi Noem said, a 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000 years. And I just have admiration for the job that everybody did. There's just admiration. He then said, visibly irritated, only a bad person would ask a question like that, to be honest with you. I don't know who you are, but only a very evil person would ask a question like that. He continued, emphasizing the scale and rarity of the disaster. I think this has been heroism. This has been incredible. Really, the job you've all done. It's easy to sit back and say, oh, what could have happened here or there, you know? We could have done something differently. This was a thing that says never happened before. But that's the thing. It did happen before. It wasn't this bad, but it was pretty bad. I've never seen anything like this. I've gone to some real bad ones. I've never seen anything like this. Turning again to first responders, Trump added, so I admire you and consider you heroes and heroine, and I think you've done an amazing job. And I would agree with that. The first responders are doing an incredible job and a hard job. All right. Hey, Green, how are you? Ooh, Cotto, that sounds good. I actually was thinking about ordering today, and I was like, nah, I'll see if I have anything that I can use here. And I just don't have, I'm trying to use up everything that I have before I buy new stuff. And there's just nothing that I really want. And it was like 90 degrees and like super muggy. So I don't really want to turn the oven on to cook. Oh well. All right. So I have one last thing for us. And this has to also do with the flooding in Texas. But this is a feel-good story about animals who have been reunited with their pets, and this is Caribou Pets Alive, which I have mentioned quite often. So let me get their link quick. I'm going to drop that in the chat again, because I've been thinking about the animals, and so many, I will say, many have been found. Animals, I feel, are very resilient, and they have instinct, and hopefully more are found and they can be reunited with their families. All right, so let's take a look at this.
Also been watching just incredible efforts from animal welfare groups that have been trying to unite pets who were found alive in the wake of all of this flooding. Kerrville Pets Alive shared images on Facebook and is reminding folks that their work is really far from over. There are still so many pets missing and many that have been found but have not been claimed. They did share this one sweet video of a Chihuahua who was reunited with her family. Take a look.
Aww. Is that your dad? Yay! Good job!
They're so sweet. They just know. They know who mom and dad is, right? Austin Pets Alive is now helping Kerrville in the search for pets and has generated this QR code for that effort. If you are missing a pet, have found a pet, or need to report a pet left behind, please scan this QR code on your screen. It will take you to KerrvillePetsAlive.com where you can fill out a form.
Such a good story. I want more. Let me see if I can find another one. That's just so, it's just so, I love seeing that, some of them, their pets may be the only thing they have left, which, let's see, pet reunions. Oh, here we go. This is from Sky News Australia. Hopefully they don't copyright me, but this says hundreds of pets saved and reunited with owners from Texas floods. Let's take a look at this one. Alrighty. Oh, what is this? Are you kidding? Thousands already. Well, I don't know how true that is, but it says thousands taken. All right. Anyways.
Loved ones to their homes. Joining us.
Oh, give me 1 second. Let me change this. Options, reset. There we go.
Live once again, Dr. Ellen Jefferson, President and CEO, Austin Pets Alive. Sorry about that technical hiccup. But yes, some animals have been saved, which is the better news from this catastrophic event. How many animals have you saved so far?
We have pulled about 500 animals over to our facility in Austin.
500? Oh my gosh.
And then we have been working on the ground by reuniting people with their pets for, we don't have a count of all of them, but many, many, many more dozens.
Oh, those babies.
Our volunteers and staff have been trying to support and help and find.
And it's been around 8 days now. So how have the animals been when you have seen them?
It's interesting that I think because of the efforts of the volunteers, our volunteers, but also
and I don't know how successful people are. I have tried doing this maneuver here that this person is trying to do, getting the cat to run into the carrier. That, for me anyways, has not gone very well. But I guess when you need the trap possibly for other, if you don't have enough traps, then I guess that works. But I have not had success in doing this very well.
So many groups that have been out there bringing food and fresh water, putting bowls of fresh water out. That's really important.
She was a pro
because the water is so contaminated. And they're not in that bad of shape. And so we've been able to, I think the biggest thing that they have is fear. They're just terrified. It's been a horrible event.
They're scared.
Their families are gone in many cases. Their homes are gone. Everything around them is new. There's people walking through all the different parts of it, bulldozers starting up. And so I think they're just really terrified.
How far away have some of these pets been from their homes?
I think what I heard the other day was a dog that was found 12 miles from their home.
Wow.
12 miles. Whether it was because they were swept downriver, or possibly they just, they were running and they ended up that far. But 12 miles away.
So just swept down the river.
Oh,
or ran that far. It's really hard to tell.
I said the same thing. I haven't watched this before.
And how many rescuers have you got helping?
We put the call out, and we have such an amazing community here in Central Texas, and over 4,000 people signed up to help with either search and rescue or fostering an animal, or helping with doing some of the connecting of lost and found pets, even veterinarians. We've had dozens of veterinarians sign up to help to provide medical services to people. It has just been astounding, and a line out our door every day to adopt the animals that are adoptable and are no longer needing to wait to see if their owner comes back. It's just been the most inspiring thing you could possibly imagine after something so horrible happens in our our region.
Yeah, and you mentioned before how distressed some of the animals would be, rightly so. What's the process? We're seeing on screen some of the cages there. How do you capture them in a safe way?
It's different for dogs and cats, and of course for wildlife and different types of animals, and we focus on dogs and cats. But for dogs, the dog that's pictured there, my understanding, I wasn't at that pickup.
Oh my gosh, look how good he looks. He was so, from when he was at his house. Oops, I didn't go far enough. So he was in, he looked pretty rough, and now he looks so good.
Dogs, the dog that's pictured there, my understanding, I wasn't at that pickup, but my understanding is that he was very scared and barking and growling and not wanting anybody to come near him because he didn't know what was going on. But as soon as a leash got on him, he was very calm and very happy and very hungry, and really wanting to be cared for. So dogs are a little bit different. And then the cats are really interesting because we've gone to a trailer park where we have been working with the owners to try to find all the cats that were displaced from their homes. Their trailers were completely smashed. People lost their lives in that trailer park. There was water that went all the way up to near the ceiling in those trailers. And many of the animals were trapped inside the trailers, of course, because that's where they live. And some were outdoor cats. And the fascinating thing about it is that nearly all of them are alive. And so it's just shocking to me that they have survived this ordeal. And when we went out there the first time, you couldn't really see too many cats. And then the next time you go out and you spend a little bit longer and just hang out, and then you start seeing a few pop up out of the bushes and come over and see. They're curious at what you're doing. And then you go and spend a little bit more time, and all of a sudden all the cats are there. And so it's just been overwhelming for the owners and for the rescuers to be able to see that nearly 100% have lived through this. And so we're just desperately trying to get them into traps and back to their owners before the bulldozers take everything out.
Yeah, it's just
oh yeah,
again, no words to describe.
That's got to be sad too. The bulldozers, once they come in, and those animals are going to be even more scared. So hopefully, they are able to trap all that they can before that happens. Hey, lunatic, how are you?
What's been going through, the people's minds there, and of course the devastation and the losses of lives. Just give us an idea of some of the reaction of these owners when they do get their pets after, days of not having them.
I mean, you can probably imagine, but it is they're overcome with gratitude. They're overcome with love for their pets. And we had one woman who, she was sent some photos of her cat, and unfortunately to identify animals and connect them back to their owners, many people are having to look through photos of deceased pets. And or at least the volunteers are pulling only the ones that match the description of their pet. And so she had previously identified her cat as deceased based on a photo. And then, interestingly enough, a live cat showed up in a trap right under where her trailer was supposed to be. So that was definitely her actual cat. And she was just overcome. She couldn't believe it. She was so happy. And she was telling us all about how
that's got to be so hard too. You think your cat is deceased because a picture looks like your cat, and then another cat shows up near where you lived and it's your cat.
Spends his evenings laying in her lap and puts his head on her hands while she's trying to do things, and just the sweetest story. Just so happy.
Wow, it's good to hear some stories in amongst what is going through Texas and just the absolutely devastating situation. Thank you so much, Dr. Ellen Jefferson. Really appreciate you joining us, and good luck for the rest of the search operation. Thank you.
And when she had said that the water was up to the ceiling in a lot of these trailers, and so the fact that the animals were able to survive, it reminded me of a photo that I had seen online, and I'm going to share it. When you see it, you'll see it, but this is what it reminded me of, because she's, where would the animals have gone? And if you can't see it, let me see if I can, I can make it a little bigger. If you notice, on the very top shelf, there is a little dachshund. So thankfully he was able, or she was able, to get up to here, and you can see the water line. So that reminded me of, what the doctor had just said. All right, y'all. Well, I said it was going to be a quick live, and I wasn't lying. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that shooting at the church in Lexington, Kentucky. And then we also had, those one in Pasadena, one in Chattanooga. And then I wanted to just show some pet stuff. And just one last thing, the Careville Pets Alive, they actually have removed their Amazon wish list from their website. And it says, "We have received such a generous response from the public, and we have run out of storage space," which I think we had heard the other day. "We ask those wanting to help to please donate funds through either PayPal or Venmo. We can also accept gift cards to Chewy, Amazon, or any pet-related retail." And then they give their mailing address. And then, this is very sad, pathetic. "We have been made aware of fraudulent Venmo accounts appearing. Please make sure to double check that you are donating to the verified @Careville Pets Alive Venmo only." Can you, just like the looters, there's people pretending that they are Careville Pets Alive and that they're going to be helping animals. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. All right, y'all. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go get some chores done. I've got to let the kittens out to run. They're funny. I have one of the torties actually climbs up on me and then goes on my head and starts eating my hair. I don't know why kittens do that, but they do. It's just weird. They're weird, but they are fun. So, hey, Curious, thanks for being here. So have a great rest of your night. And until next time, I will see you on the flip side.
You have one shot on stage, what you got to play. Generic drops for days, still the people rage. Am I not insane? insane. Can you stop and explain why these drops are so lame? Is money buying you fame? I'm fucking on, I'm killing it with this song. You haters can sing along or go back where you belong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving up, moving on. Cause I took your girl to prom, she can't help but sing this song.
Comes off till the lights go out, till my legs give out. Can't shut my mouth till the smoke clears out. Am I high or rats? I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out. Can't shut my mouth till the smoke clears out. Am I high or rats? I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse.
She's so on like a light switch, flirting back. There's nothing wrong with the way that she's working that. I just want that body bad, come on baby, bring it back. I'm so gone, faded off a 30 rack. She's so on like a light switch, flirting back. There's nothing wrong with the way that she's working that. I just want that body bad, come on baby, bring it back. I rap with a passion, yeah, I got it in me. I've been waiting quite a long time for y'all to hear me. It's about damn time you put some stock into me. You're either sponsoring me or fucking bothering me. And the fact is, we just practice on this madness. That is why your status is like a canvas. Chances our advancement is enhancing, and this new expansion's like a mansion.
Comes off till the lights go out, till my legs give out. Can't shut my mouth till the smoke clears out. Am I high or rats? I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out. Can't shut my mouth till the smoke clears out. Am I high or rats? I'ma rip this shit till my bones collapse.